Do you procrastinate a lot? I'm sure you do. There are countless videos, books, podcasts, any sort of content about how not to procrastinate and, just get up right away and finish all of your tasks. There are so many of them, and I'm sure that you have already consumed those. I'm a productivity nerd, and I probably consumed majority of those type of content and probably tried like 90% of those methods. But one thing I learned from my experience is that procrastination is in human nature, and it's actually something inevitable. Those gurus, pros, experts also procrastinate. We all procrastinate because it's something so natural. I have so many creator friends, we all make contents about productivity, how not to procrastinate and all that. But even while making this content, I procrastinated, and I know that my friends also do procrastinate. If we cannot stop procrastinating, then don't you think that making procrastination a bit effective is the most logical thing to do? If you don't think so, that's totally fine, but I found some tactics and tricks from the books I learned, the methods that I tried, and today I want to share those tips and tactics and the things that I do to make my procrastination more efficient. So the most important step of actually making procrastination more effective is that understanding what category your tasks belong to. What do I mean by that? I hope you don't just write a to-do list from beginning to the end, all of the tasks you remember, all of the tasks you have to do, and I hope you're not just like ticking them. I hope you're not doing it, because if you're not categorizing your tasks and if you're not deciding which priority group they belong to, then actually that means that you're probably spending quite a lot of time on the things that don't matter, and you probably procrastinate on the things that matters most for your life. And this is the first step that we want to avoid. If you want to procrastinate productively, then we have to make sure that we finish all of the tasks that are high priority. It is important to categorize your tasks into 3 groups. For each group, we're going to use a different method to procrastinate. Therefore, it is important to categorize your tasks into these 3 groups if you want to use my method, or if you want to just give it a shot. So the first group is going to be the most crucial tasks. These can be tasks that have deadline, or it can be about your huge goals. You decide your priority of your tasks, but if it has deadline, I'm sorry, but you cannot decide it. And if you cannot change the deadline, then it should be the most crucial task. For example, for me, any sort of video deadlines, exams, homeworks will get into the most crucial part. And then the second group is going to be the still important group. Still important groups are the tasks that are important for you, but they do not necessarily have a deadline. Probably after a bit of time, they will shift to the most crucial part because you will get closer to the deadline, or there will be some sort of an urgency that you need to finish those tasks. They're a bit more chill compared to the most crucial parts. For example, for me, creating an online course is still important, but it doesn't have a deadline. I can actually do it whenever I want. But let's say my income from YouTube and sponsorship dropped suddenly and I need money, then it's gonna shift to the most crucial task. The third group is gonna be the not important group. Those are the tasks you need to skip. If they're important, they will appear in the still important or most crucial part in the future. So you do actually not need to focus on them right now. So for the first group, which is the crucial tasks, we're gonna use a method from my favorite author / psychiatrist, Kawasawa Shion. Basically, when he has some sort of a deadline, let's say end of September, he books a trip a week after that. So let's say you have a deadline on September 29, so he books some sort of a trip in the beginning of the October. And because in the beginning of the October, he's gonna go to that trip, he definitely doesn't want to work during the trip. Therefore, he wants to ultimately avoid that situation. This trip can be also a reward for finishing the crucial tasks, but it will also put you in a mood where you definitely want to avoid that situation. When there is a situation where we absolutely want to avoid, noradrenaline levels increases in our body. Noradrenaline plays a role in focus, attention, and it also is really important part in performing a task and memorizing. So when you put yourself in a situation where you absolutely want to avoid it, your norepinephrine levels increases. Norepinephrine is noradrenaline, by the way. So I mean, he's a doctor, he's a successful author and YouTuber, so he can book a trip here and there when he wants to. But for normal people, it is not something really possible. Also, I'm like a uni student, so it's not really possible for me to book a trip all the time. What we can do basically is that we can book something that we like to enjoy. It can be a cinema, it can be seeing your friends, it can be a dinner time, or it can be even going to the gym, like something that you truly enjoy. Just book it so that you do not want to cancel that plan. You absolutely want to avoid it. If you don't have any hobbies, if you don't have anything you truly enjoy in your life, I'm gonna make a video in the future, so stay tuned. But for the group 2, still important tasks. You have still a bit of time to procrastinate. So what we can do in this situation is that we want to change our procrastination style into more efficient one. So the important step, the first step will be identify your go-to procrastination. So for me, my go-to procrastination style used to be just scrolling on my phone, consuming irrelevant content that I do not care at all. For example, contents about Kim Kardashian. I swear to God, there's so many contents out there about like Kardashians and Jenners, and once you watch it, your For You page is filled with them, but I do not care about them at all. But once you click it, you're just in a rabbit hole. Therefore, I realize that it's just like wasting my time, and I do not want to procrastinate like that. I just don't want to like waste my time like that, you know? Therefore, I shifted my procrastination style into more effective one, which is reading. Whenever I want to procrastinate on something, I just grab a book and I read it till the point I'm like ready to get up and do some work. Distraction levels compared to your phone is much lower. It is not constantly stimulated. Like when you read a book, the amount of information you get per second is much lower. It's not a high dopamine release activity, which is really addicting. The amount of dopamine you get from scrolling versus the amount of dopamine you get from reading is so different. So when I want to like procrastinate, I either hit the gym or read a book or call my friends so that like we would have a catch-up call, just like talk about our lives, and after a bit of time I'm like so ready to work. Other ways for you to procrastinate efficiently can be reading, hitting the gym, cleaning your place, organizing, going for a walk, decluttering, I don't know, taking out the trash or something. But if you want to still grow while you're procrastinating, then probably gym, reading, and also using Brilliant will be the best ways to procrastinate. What is Brilliant? Let me explain you that. I am coming from a STEM background because I study medicine right now. I'm currently a second-year medical student, and I know that most of my viewers are coming from either a STEM background or want to have STEM majors in the future. What is STEM? STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I don't know about you, but for me, to be honest, during my high school years, middle school years, even though I went to one of the best high schools in Turkey, I always adopted the education system that we get, because I've always believed that education should be based on understanding rather than memorizing. And in most of the schools, at least the education that I got was solidly based on memorization. So we weren't really understanding like biology, chemistry, physics, or mathematics. We were just memorizing so that we could like get higher scores. Brilliant is such an interactive platform to understand STEM topics. Hands-on learning is such a better way to understand this stuff. For example, I'm actually writing a code in this lesson, even though I have absolutely no background in coding. Brilliant has thousands of lessons with exclusive new content added monthly. So many courses out there, from like logic to computer science fundamentals to astronomy to even scientific thinking. If you would spend the time, let's say 30 minutes from the time you procrastinate on Brilliant, you can actually learn so many things. To get started for free, click the link down in the description below, and the first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription, so don't forget to check it out. One of the most important tips that I can actually give is to understand and analyze the reason why you procrastinate. Sometimes actually it does not come from laziness. It can come from burnout, or you might have an ADHD. And the another thing is you might have been really burned out. I really experienced burnout a couple of months ago, and I really can say that it was probably the worst stages of my life, and I felt like doing nothing. But I blamed myself for a very long time for being lazy, even though I was actually burned out. Most of us, especially if you're watching this video, you're probably really ambitious about your life. The more pressure we put on ourselves, the more likely that we are gonna burn out. So it is really important that actually to care about your mental health. And one tactic that I can give is doing a mental scheduling. So basically, you write out all of the things that you have to do in that week. So you analyze your most crucial tasks, still important tasks and not important tasks, and you write them down in your calendar. After writing down like each day and after you time block them, then you will see like some gaps in your days. Identifying those gaps and filling every day with one activity that you truly enjoy is so important to actually stay sane. I'm not kidding. Like, if you are going to uni and if you have a business like me, or if you have kids, you know, we have so many responsibilities in our lives, and you always feel like there's no enough time. We want to avoid that situation. We actually have to actively do the things that we enjoy each day. Those activities can be for relaxation. It can be going to a spa, hitting the gym or sauna, going for a walk, getting massages and all these things. Or maybe even just like you're doing your skincare routine a bit more longer, a bit just taking a bit of time, taking a bath, taking a hot shower like really slowly. It can be easy like that. You know, something that calms down your soul and nourishes your soul. If you do not enjoy, like, let's say Netflix shows, and after time, if you're regretting each time, then this activity cannot be considered as something that will nourish your soul. It has to be something that you're like, oh, I want to do this tomorrow once again. It felt so good. For me, it's reading, hitting the gym, and learning new stuff. So please do mental scheduling in order to avoid burnout. I really hope that this video was helpful for you, and I hope that you guys are procrastinating a bit more efficiently right now. So see you guys in my next video, and bye. Not pro.